video, we're talking about manual brewing on the SLAYER steam single. So in manual mode, the barista has full control over the brew parameters, and to check whether you're in manual or automatic mode, it's really easy to see. Just have a look on the screen, and if the little M is on screen, that means you're in manual mode, which is a good start. So this is a really good way to kind of get used to the machine, understand how the brew parameters can be controlled and how they work, get an understanding of the kind of shots that you really enjoy, because then you can save those and repeat them back all day long. So in manual mode, the barista is actually controlling the extraction using the brew actuator. As always, the right-hand position is off, but in manual mode, you've actually got two different flow rates that you can switch between to get your perfect extraction. So in position 1, which is the middle position, this is our restricted flow rate. This allows you to gently saturate your puck. And then in position 2, we've got a full unrestricted flow rate. And then you can always back down and off again. So within these parameters, you can create incredible recipes to the coffee you're brewing. If you're not sure where to start with this, I'm gonna give you a really easy starting point that I've found gives me great results with lots of different coffees, which then you can tweak, adapt, and dial into your own preferences. So when it comes to choosing a recipe, a lot of you will have your own preferences when it comes to dose and yield. 1 to 2s, very widely adopted in the industry as your kind of normale style espresso. Something closer to a 1 to 1 is more of a ristretto style, very intense, very bright. And then if you go to the other end of the spectrum, 1 to 3 or even longer, is moving towards your kind of lungo style, which is gonna be a little bit lighter, a little bit more juicy, and really kind of bring down that intensity. So I've been getting really good results with somewhere between a 1 to 2 and a 1 to 2.5 on a lot of different coffees. This has been a kind of sweet spot for me, getting really nice texture, balance, and body. So I've been starting with an 18-gram dose, which is just about perfect in these baskets, looking for around about a 40-gram yield for a lot of different coffees. And then we've got more kind of brew parameters to play with, which are more machine specific. First of all, we've got our restricted flow rate in position 1. So you can do this for up to 10 seconds. I've been having great results with the full 10 seconds for your kind of lighter coffees, probably a little bit closer to 5 seconds for a little bit more darker roast coffees. But with the coffee we're gonna brew today, it's a little bit lighter. I'm gonna look for the full 10 seconds, which gives really nice kind of balance in the cup, takes the edge off the acidity, and just rounds it out really nicely. And then moving into position 2, which is our full unrestricted flow rate, I've been looking for an additional 25 to 35 seconds, obviously depending on the coffee. And I've actually been introducing a little bit of a ramp down back into position 1, and I find this just rounds out the shots really nicely, really improves the balance and softens any sharp edges. So what we're gonna do now is brew a shot in real time, have a look at it, and if we like it, we can save it and play that back all day long. Okay, so now I've got my 18-gram dose prepared. This is a naturally processed yellow Caturra from Colombia. It's a really delicious coffee, but actually the recipe I'm gonna show you, I find works for a lot of different coffees. It's really versatile, but the first thing we need to do is gonna be tear our scales, purge our group, and then we're gonna be ready to brew. So we'll start the shot in position 1, where we're gonna gently saturate the puck. And I tend to use the full 10 seconds here for all but the darkest roast coffees. This will slowly saturate, and then after 10 seconds, we can move into our full unrestricted flow in position 2. And we're looking for 25 to 35 seconds in this position with an optional ramp down. So what I'm gonna do in this shot is actually ramp down for the final 25% of the shot, or the last 10 grams, because we're looking for 40 in total. So when we reach that, we'll move back into position 2, which is gonna be now, and then we'll let the shot run through until it hits 40 grams. So 40 grams on the nose, 41.4 seconds. This is looking pretty good. Let's give this a taste. It's so delicious. The texture is incredible, really velvety, really kind of coating. So much sweetness in there. I'm really happy with this. So what we can do now is save our shot. So to do this, we just click one position over, save last shot, and then you input your shot weight, which is 40 grams. Save that, assign it to a position. So either both positions or just position 1 or position 2. So shot 1, save the shot, and we're done. So now that shot's been saved to position 1, you can actually go into automatic mode, which we'll talk about in the next video, to play that back all day. But if you're not entirely happy with your shot, that's completely fine. An amazing thing about this machine is you can experiment with so many different parameters and variables. You've also got your usual variables, things like your dose, your yield, which you can adjust to get either a shorter or a longer extraction. Things like the brew temperature, obviously grind size is a huge one. If you want to slow down your shot slightly, you can use a finer grind. If you want it to run a little bit quicker, you can use a coarser grind. Taste the full spectrum of different parameters, experiment, and have some fun. So in the next video, we're going to talk about automatic brewing on the SLAYER steam single.